Hello everyone, this is Dee. Welcome back to Time Out. Hope you all had a good week. So today we're going to be talking about the side chick. I think this is one of the very few videos I really didn't want to do. But if I claim to be working on becoming a better version of myself, like I've been saying, these videos are very healing for me, because it's a part of my journey, it's a part of my growth. So I tend to, as I walk through certain things, sometimes I make a video about it, and that for me actually kind of solidifies the fact that, okay, so I've scaled that part of my journey, I need to get on to the next one too, and then carry people that need the information along. Like I said in my last video, what is important is that we encourage each other, right? So yeah, so today I really wanted to talk about the side chick, and the truth is that anyone can fall victim to this, anyone can fall prey to this, and really and truly, what I've realized is that most of the time we don't dig deep enough to see to understand the repercussions of certain habits we have. We don't really look at it, because it's the new normal. It has become so normal, and as the world evolves, so bad things or things that are usually frowned upon are now trends. Back in the days, like seriously, like when a girl is dating, like she has a zaddy or something, you're hiding. People are hiding stuff, those stuff. People used to hide these things, but this days is like everybody, it's almost like it's competition now. It's like, oh yeah, my zaddy is better than yours, or women shoot your shot. And this is what society have started to teach a lot of women, so especially the younger ones. And for me, that really is my main concern, because at the end of the day, most of us have made our choices in life, and we're either living through the repercussions now, or so with the younger generation, it means a lot to me sometimes to put these videos out, just lend my own effect to change, in my own little way. And it's not been easy, I'm not gonna lie. Think about it, when people don't like the truth, so when you have videos that highlights truth a lot, you might get a lot of flack for it. So I do get a lot of flack for these videos, but I also know that it's just as important to put it out. It might not be for today. I don't know who is going to resonate with it. It might not be today, it might not even be this year, it might be next year, whatever it is. Well, it gives me, sometimes these days, sometimes I go back and look at the videos, and I am proud of myself. In my own little ways, it's just a little I can do. So anyway, so like I said, back in the days, this stuff used to be so hidden, and people used to hide all these things. But now it's the new normal. It's a trend. It's almost like, society teaches women that it objectifies women. They put you on a magazine or put you whatever and tell you what body size is acceptable. They tell you if you don't have a man, you're probably like second class. So people run and try to just be in a relationship for being in a relationship's sake. It's not about the good that relationship is doing for them. Or anyway, I talk too much. Let me go back to the topic and let's focus on that. Okay. The side chick or the side piece, I'm looking at all the names the side chick is called. So and before I continue, may I just say that this video is for the queen conscious woman. Let me put it that way. It's not for everybody. It's for the woman that wants to grow, the woman that's trying to become a better version of themselves. The reason why I'm saying that is because, like I said, these things are the new normal now. So a lot of people don't see anything. In fact, this is like noise. Do you understand? But for somebody that is that genuinely wants to make something of themselves, and they are the ones that would find this video that can resonate with this video. So let me put it that way just before I continue. Okay, so let's dig deep. So the side chick, I just made a few notes about what the side chick is called. So the side chick, the side piece, some people refer to as chicken heads, and then there's the friends with benefits. Even though the side chick is the only one that is actually not benefiting from it, she's not benefiting anything. It looks like she's benefiting, but she's actually not. Okay, so let's break it down and understand how. Okay, so so you're dating a guy, right? His calls on, his visits are on timer. He can only probably spend certain times with you. You know, his visits are on timer because he has to go home to his wife, right? Then you can't call him whenever you feel like it. You can't call him when maybe there's something wrong. You can't call him at any time because obviously he's indisposed. Then he gives money, and this is how a lot of people fall into that trap, because they think they're benefiting something from it. He gives money, which is probably a residue of whatever is left from what he's giving somebody else. I don't know if you understand. You know, so he is taking care of his home, taking care of his family. Then he has extra funds to burn. Yeah, so he gives you some of that extra funds, and this is a side chick thinking she's achieved something in life. You know, this guy is giving her free money, and the money is covering her bills or whatever it is. Well, it doesn't amount to anything more than that. That's where it ends. So it's pretty much sex for money, pretty much. And please keep in mind, with this video, I'm maybe shaking tables, but I mean, it's everybody's table. That's the truth. I just decided that I would rather know the repercussions of what I get myself into, you know. So we all do certain things, and because it's so normal now, it's not frowned upon anymore. I mean, it's even cool. Do you understand? So nobody's looking at how these things can affect us as women or as human beings, or even our self-respect as people, and make us love ourselves. Do you understand? So how are we settling? I mean, so it's everybody's table. I just decided to dig a little deeper. So if I am going to get myself in certain situations, at least I need to understand what I'm getting myself into, what names I'm actually calling myself, or you know. So like, I mean, anyway. So yeah, so I mean, the truth is that some men actually take care of outside even than the inside, but it's not very common, you know. Sorry, excuse me, this camera keeps moving. Okay, so it's not very common, and that's why we're talking about it right now, because most men, not a lot of men will do that. So it would take some sort of manipulation to generally make a man do that, like take care of outside even more than his own family. Do you understand? His own wife and children, or whatever it is. So it would take some sort of manipulation to make the man do that. But I'm talking about on general terms here. It's most of the time the money would be from whatever money the side chick thinks she's getting is from residues or whatever is left from his spending or his expenses or whatever it is. So I mean, when we're trying to get to the bottom of something or trying to look at the truth about something, the best thing to do is go to the truth book, which is the Bible. So what is the biblical definition of a side chick? It's a concubine, which is a woman that performs the wifely duties without the actual title. So she will be regarded as normally like the second-class citizen. I mean, in the Bible, that's what concubines are regarded as. I mean, she's not a legitimate wife, so she's regarded as second class. Now, I mean, it takes a lot to wonder, like, if we're looking at this, if we're looking at being a side chick on these terms, why would anybody want to put themselves in this situation? Why would any woman want to do that? Because the truth is, sometimes when we actually define certain things, then we realize what we're doing wrong. But if we're going with the trend, like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal, it's just my zaddy gives me money, my zaddy is this, my zaddy is that, you know, we're not thinking about it, we're thinking about the cool part of it. But when you actually sit down and dig deep and define what you're doing, then you realize that, okay, this is actually crazy. So like I said, why would anybody want to put themselves in this situation? And it's for different reasons. Like I said, I'm shaking a lot of tables, but this is not laying blame. This is trying to understand why we do certain things and the repercussions of doing those things or those habits or forming those habits. So I mean, what I realize is that, I mean, psychologically, women are 5 years more mature than men. You know, so if you have a man and a woman of the same age, psychologically she's actually 5 years more mature than that man. So what happens is that see, that's why they say, a lot of women, that they always say to women, like, okay, get married on time, get married early. I mean, yes, it does seem like, I mean, it's pressure. Yes, we agree, it's a lot of pressure, but it's also somewhat for our own good, because if you're doing it at a very young age, I mean, it's easier to find a single man in that age bracket, within that age bracket. I mean, if you're just graduating from university and you've started work, and let's say you're like maybe 25, 26 or whatever, then you're in that age scale, even from 24, whatever it is, to start thinking about marriage. Because if you're, then you'll be finding you'll find a man of like 30 years old, 30 in his early 30s or something, as an eligible bachelor, you know, because just so that he's old, that way, I mean, psychologically, what's it called, their intelligence, their social intelligence can match, you know. So yeah, so I mean, so what happens is, most of the time, if that doesn't happen, or it's been maybe a disappointing relationship or whatever it is, age. So a lot of women get to certain age brackets that if you find a single man that is ideal, in an ideal age bracket that you can date, he's probably insane. Because, you know, no offense, let me break it down. What I'm trying to say is that I will be afraid if I find a man in his maybe late 40s and he's totally single. I would be, I mean, except maybe he was in a relationship and he's divorced or something. But if he's never been married, I will be wary of that, because I know that there's something seriously, deeply wrong. You know, he might, truth be told, it might actually even be perfect. It might just be that he decided he didn't want to get married, or chasing a career, whatever it is. But I'm talking on general terms. I'm not talking about those few situations where you actually meet angels that, you know. So I will be wary if I meet a guy in his late 40s and is like totally single, never been married. You want to be checking if this guy is kind of psycho, because there's a reason why we're in a world where it's like 10 women to 1. Nobody has tried to hook this man down. Why? You know, it's a bit scary. So anyway, so yeah, so I mean, age also makes a lot of women date maybe unavailable men. And also maturity. I mean, for a man that's probably been married or whatever it is, he's had responsibilities, so he's talking different. Do you understand? And because these days women they're go-getters. Women are going out to do their own thing. Not a lot of women are waiting for men per se to maybe have a business or whatever it is. Yes, they might have a man that would now give them money on top of it or whatever it is, but a lot of women are becoming more assertive. Like, women are becoming more, you know, in your face, so to speak. So you want to be talking to a man that has a bit of sense. Do you understand? A man that's never been responsible for anything, and you maybe as a woman, you're even the one taking care of your entire family. So you want somebody that is talking, that actually sounds mature, sounds normal, or can resonate with whatever it is you're saying. Not a guy that is still talking about, oh yeah, you know, when my dad did this, yeah, so my dad thought it was cool for me to go to, you know, yeah, because he's still young. So that makes a lot of women get into these relationships with unavailable men as well, when maybe a married man or man in a high level of commitment. So there's that. There's also fantasy. So a girl meets guy, and guy is unavailable, he's married, but he starts to tell her, babe, you know, seriously, I wish I met you when I was, I mean, people still fall for this shit, trust me, they do. So I wish I met you when I was single. Do you understand? You know, I don't really love her. If you just give me a bit of time, I'm going to leave her for you. I'm really going, really? No man is leaving his wife and children, his reputation, his finances. No man is going to do that, except that was about to crash anyway, or except they have their own issues or whatever, or he's going through whatever it is, but not because of a girl. No man is gonna do that, and people still fall for this thing. Girls still fall for it. So anyway, you know, so yeah, and then there's the money aspect of it as well. So a lot of women find themselves in relationships like that, obviously for financial reasons, you know, she might not be doing very well. She might need the assistance or whatever. So we get into all these things for different reasons. But the bottom line is that especially for a woman that does not think that there's anything wrong in it's daddy issues. Most of the time, if you research to the core of this women, it's probably maybe like an absent father or something. Reason why I said that, it's actually it's psychological. That's the truth. In terms of it's usually due to daddy issues. Because you see, and you see, that's why a lot of men would say women we should aspire to bring a child into this world where both parents are very available in the child's life. I'm not saying they have to necessarily be together in the same house. I'm just saying very, very much available to the child, especially female children, you know, because female children, no matter how you want to look at it, it's very important that you have that male figure in your life, because it teaches us from a very young age to know what to accept from a man, to know what true love from a man feels like, and true genuine care and genuine love from a man, what it feels like, you know. But most of the time when you see a woman in, especially that goes through this kind of cycle of this kind of relationships with an unavailable man, usually it's daddy issues. It's it's usually a clear case of unavailable father, because an available father would have taught his child, especially his daughter, from a young age to value herself and know what to accept from a man and what is acceptable and not acceptable, you know, from a man. So so yeah, so that, you know, only a woman with a bit of a low self-esteem, and this is the truth, would accept to have a little bit of someone else's than have a whole of your own. We've never really considered it like that, have we? And I know that because there was a time, you know, having been in like some certain type of relationships, I just believe, like, yeah, just be in a relationship with an unavailable person or whatever it is, you know, because I focused on career, and it's like, yeah, just be in that relationship, it doesn't really matter. So I may have said that to a few people, and I do genuinely apologize. I shouldn't have said that, but that was what I believed at the time, you know, because for me it was like, relationships, they're all the same, men are all the same, everybody's all the same. Just, you know, focus on your career. You can just have a relationship on the side or whatever it is, you know. The tragedies of a booty call, we should do that as a topic one of these days. Anyway, yeah, so I mean, there was a time I didn't focus so much on relationships, and I was just like, yeah. So if anybody had asked my advice at that time, I would have said, yeah, I mean, just what's the point? All men are the same anyway. Do you understand what I mean? It's not like, you know, I would have trivialized it because that's how I felt at the time. But like I said, sometimes you need to define certain things before you understand the mistakes you're making, which is what I'm doing now. So anyway, you know, so yeah, so like I said, not enough bonding with a female child will make her settle. Because it's settling. When you're settling for somebody, like I said, having a piece of someone else's as opposed to a whole of your own, it's settling, you know. So not having good bond, a good father figure or good bond with a father, sometimes most of the time is a route to why a woman would just settle and just want to have a relationship. It's better for me to just be in any relationship than wait to actually find my own, you know. So again, if we're looking at the truth, we need to go back to the truth book, which is the Bible. So I think the model, the perfect model of a side chick in the Bible would be Hagar. If anybody remembers Hagar is the handmaid, like the maid, Sarah's maid with Abraham. So yeah, so that's like the typical model of a side chick. And I'm going to be explaining everything that is wrong, you know. If you want to model, if we're using Hagar as a model, because she is of a side chick in the Bible, yeah, so let's break it down. So Hagar was a slave with the mindset of a slave. She didn't really have much of a say. She did what she was told to do. So she was put in a position where, you know, when Sarah couldn't have a child, so Sarah said to her husband, well, sleep with my maid and I can get a child through her, you know. Yeah, so I mean, she was in that position because she didn't have a choice. She was a slave with a slave mindset. A slave does what they're told to do, right? A lot of women today have been enslaved by perverted male standards. I wanted it to sink in a bit, so I thought to keep quiet for a minute. I wanted to, because you're told, really and truly, a lot of women are doing the bidding of psychological masters, the magazine, the media, TV. Like I said before, tells you that this is the body size that is acceptable. It's not about if you're skinny, but you can be unhealthy being skinny. No, just be skinny. I mean, that's just acceptable. So it's not really about being fit, it's just be skinny. It tells you the skin color that is pretty, that is considered attractive. It tells you that you have to have a man, otherwise you're less of a woman. So a lot of women will have a man at any cost, even at the cost of their own dignity. Hagar, the slave mentality. We need to get out of the slave mindset. As women, we do. You know, in church now, they call single women, oh, single women come out and pray, sometimes, and everybody's running out, you know, oh yeah, I'm praying for my Boaz. We all know who Boaz is, right? If you go to the story of Ruth in the Bible, so Boaz is the healthy man, the wealthy man. Not so much wealth in terms of monetary terms, but wealth in terms of maturity, wealth in terms of standing in the society, wealth in terms of wisdom, wealth, you know, he's the wealthy man. So so that's Boaz. So I mean, every woman's ideal man would be a Boaz, like the wealthy man, wealth in all things, not wealth in just monetary terms. Yes, monetary terms as well, but in all things. So anyway, so you see all the girls pray for your Boaz. Yay, Jesus, I'm praying for my Boaz. No, kings don't marry slaves. That's the truth. Kings don't marry slaves. Boaz, in his standing as a wealthy man, is royalty. He's a king. He's not going to be marrying a slave or a woman with slave mentality. So that's the problem with a lot of women. Being a side chick does not stop her dating unavailable men. You can be dating an available man, but you're a concubine because you've been in that relationship for over 10 years and he's still thinking if you're worthy enough for him to marry. Concubine. So basically, what you find in those kind of relationships is that they've been together 10, 15 years. They're not married. So she's performing all the wifely duties without the title. You should be able to love yourself long enough to walk away from that sort of relationship. Oh yeah, it's painful. Oh my God, I'm going to be so depressed when I walk away from him. Yeah, you should be depressed. 10 years. And this same man will probably leave that relationship and marry another person in 3 months. Love yourself enough to walk away. It's still being a concubine, it's still being a side chick because he hasn't deemed you worthy enough to put you in his home. Literally. You know, I say to people, like, you know, the truth is that the truth breeds contempt. Like, it breeds controversy and hate, which is what I know this video, a lot of people may not take it down well, but it's the truth. I always say to people that pick a side. You can't play both parts. It doesn't work like that. You have to pick a side. You're either on the healing end or the destructive end. So you're either healing or you're destroying. You're either healing your fellow human beings or you're destroying them. You can't play both parts. You can't play an angel and a demon. And you see the people that pretend, and I'm just gonna do something bad, I'm just gonna date everybody, and then I'm gonna go out and pretend I'm a virgin, and I'll pretend and I meet this unsuspecting man, and he's going to marry me, and the world is going to be so great. No, it doesn't work like that. That can work for you that way, but the repercussions will be there. So you have to choose a part. So you see people that pretend, they're very deceptive. I call them Decepticons. Well, I mean, it's a new slang I learned. So Decepticons. Yeah, so this Decepticons, I'm going to be calling them Decepticons a lot. Yeah, so that's the new name. Get with the program. All right. So Decepticons, they play both parts. So you want to lay up with a man that is not yours and then run to church and pray for your boys. Doesn't work like that. God will not do that. Instead, you'll probably bring more unavailable men your way, because I mean, that's what you're choosing, right? We have to get our thinking right. You can't lay up with someone else's and ask God for your own. It doesn't work like that. You're a Decepticon. God don't deal with Decepticons. No, you don't deal with Decepticons. If you want your bars, your true bars, your true happiness, you have to wait. You have to stay in your lane. You have to see, not something has to go for something. When you want to buy something at the market, you pay money to collect it. So there's always an exchange. So you have to give something to get something. So you can't be laying up with another person's and be asking God for your boys. It doesn't work like that. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some very different situations that some people find themselves in, like very different situations. Don't get me wrong. Like somebody can genuinely be going through some sort of like a divorce and, trying to strike up a different relationship or whatever it is. Even though I feel like sometimes it's good to heal. But then again, there are always peculiar situations. I'm talking in general terms now. So if you have that weird situation where you know for a fact that, okay, it's over here or something, that I'm not trying to be destructive, I'm trying to, you can have those peculiar situations. I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to the general terms, So that's it. So we need to get our thinking right. You see a woman complain, oh my God, he has like 10 women, walk away. But no, what they try to do is compete with the other 10 women. Why? And then when you talk to certain, they're like, oh no, I love him, I can't just leave him. Something. No, you can't love him if you don't love yourself. That's the whole point. I mean, that's why I'm doing these videos. You have to love yourself first. You can't bring true love, you can't bring soul connections into your life when you don't love yourself. You have to do the work. A lot of people try to avoid doing that work. You come out of a toxic relationship and you run into another one. I don't want to be single. Oh my God, I don't want to be single. You have to debrief. Every time you go through a toxic relationship, if you really want yours, you have to debrief from what society has taught you, from what toxic relationship has put in you. You have to debrief. Debrief like all the CIA and whatever, when they capture like a terrorist or something or whatever it is, they would go and debrief that person, like, tell you need to say everything you know about this situation. So you need to debrief with God. You need to debrief with yourself. You need to heal. You need to heal from toxins that has been put in you from other relationship. You need to heal from toxins that's been put in you from, just what society believes it should be. And go back to the basics. We all need to do these things. If you want a true soul connection, your Boaz, you need to debrief from toxic relationships. Like attracts like. If you're not healed, how do you want to bring in a healed person? They always say my other half. The truth is that I don't want a half. Go for a whole. 2 wholes will become 1. You'll be able to work together. But my other half means, I'm looking for certain parts of myself that I feel I don't have, but I'm looking for that in another person. You have to love yourself. Like attracts like. When you're healed and whole and you're a whole person, you can only attract that sort of person into your life. When you're half and you're still looking for something in one person or the other, and I'm just gonna get money from this one. I'm gonna get him because he looks really good, and every girl is fighting over him, but I'm gonna be the winner. You're still looking for something outside of yourself. You're only attracting half. That's why a man will date a certain woman for 20 years, not marry her and then date another for 2 months. Because finally, he's found a woman that does not need him in that way. She's independent. She can fend for herself. She's a whole, which means he can also lean on her sometimes, and vice versa. So that's second point about being a side chick, is that Hagar was used. She was used from the beginning, both by Abraham and Sarah, because what on a married man or unavailable man, or what you may call it, would normally he would ask a side chick to do mostly what his wife cannot do, maybe sexually or something, or swinging from chandeliers, or do I really want to get into this? Anyway, so most of the time you would find out is the things that the wife is not willing to do, that is beneath the wife. He won't tell his wife to bring all her friends and come and shag him. No, he won't do that. He won't tell his wife to be, well, maybe if she likes, she can swing from chandeliers or whatever. Or, I'm just saying. Yes, some people do escapades with their wives, which is great. Because that's what they like to do together, and that's what keeps their bond. I love that. However, a lot of men will do so many degrading things to women. He's giving her money and he's paying her bills anyway, so she has to take it. Slave mentality. A slave will do what they're told to do. So Hagar was used from the beginning. They required of her what Sarah couldn't do, which is have a child. So Hagar had a child. And the problem is that she was disposable when they didn't need her anymore. Part of being a side chick, you're disposable. So once he finds a prettier girl or something, that's the end of the relationship, really. And Hagar was required second class. Why would you want to put yourself in that situation? The Bible says the Lord shall make you the head and not the tail. You shall be above only and not beneath. That is God's intention for us women. But sometimes, due to circumstances or situations, we intentionally, we actually walk into it. It's not like any man is putting a gun to your head that you have to come and play second fiddle or whatever it is, and be regarded as second class. But we walk into these situations for whatever reason. A reason will be, that bad relationship, so I can't be bothered, I'm just going to date anybody. Another one will, I need the money. Another one would be that I don't want to be single. I'll just rather have a relationship rather than be single. These days it's actually cool to have a zaddy or whatever it is. So and then what makes it worse is that sometimes a child can be born to this relationship. And that's the third part. Hagar's child was considered second class. In fact, it was recorded in the Bible, the book of the ultimate truth, at some point that Isaac was Abraham's only son. So the poor child was not even recorded in the book of truth. Reality is that he had another child. But the truth is, when it came down to inheritance, Hagar was sent away with a child. She left with nothing. A lot of people think, oh yeah, he's giving me money today. Oh, I'm going to make money from him. I'm going to do this. If you really get to the bottom line, it's usually nothing. I'm not saying some people don't get away with it. They do. I'm just talking in general terms, like I said, not those peculiar situations. And the funny thing is that you're not only a secret, you've made your child a secret, right? The problem with secrets is that it's a sin because it's not right, and that's why it's a secret, right? So secrets are sins. So anything you have to consider regarded as a secret is a sin. So it's not right, but we do it anyway. Like I said, I'm not shaking any table. I'm shaking all our tables as women. I had to go back and really dig deep. And I realized that We're shortchanging ourselves when we do this to ourselves. No matter what the excuse or the reason is. Hagar was a slave with a slave mentality, and she was disposable. She was the ultimate model of a side chick in the book of all truths, which is the Bible. So, where do you belong? Or where do you want to belong as a woman? We can do better. This is something we can all consider. We don't want to be Hagar. We want our Boaz. We want to be Ruth. We want to be Esther. We want to be the powerful women. We want to be regarded as the head, which is the original intention for our life. So why would I exchange my destiny for a fantasy? We shouldn't do that. There's no need for it. Let's call it like it is. Let's call it what it is. It's a spade. Call a spade a spade. Let's not pretend and say, oh yeah, it's cool. Oh no, you're being so backwards when you're still thinking these days women are just, women are this, women are that. You can shoot your shot as a woman. You can go and ask a guy out. So 6 months down the relationship, he starts to misbehave, and then you're thinking, what if I never walked up to him to say hi or asked him out or asked him to date or whatever? Because you never really know. Would he have approached you? Do you know if he really would have approached you? Do you know if you were pretty enough for him? Do you know if you were attractive enough for him to actually walk up to you and say, hey, I like you? He probably never would have. But you jump the gun as a new age woman, and then guess who is suffering down the line? Guess who is insecure down the line? Guess who is never really sure if this man really... Because trust me, when a man loves you, he will jump hoops, go through mountains to get to you. He will get to you. Men are hunters. If a man goes out to hunt, he would carry that kill, even if it's a rat. He would carry it on his head like, oh, guess what I killed in my hunting? Look at my game. This is my game. My hunting this, my hunting that. Give a man, that same man, the same animal, put it on his doorstep. He won't regard it as anything, because it was there. It was just placed on his lap like, just take. It's nothing. It has no value. He valued the one he went to hunt for, but he disregarded the one that was dropped on his doorstep because it's just there. There's no value to it. There was no exchange. For you to have value, there's got to be an exchange. The same way, for you to have your Boaz, you have to give up something. We can also surround ourselves with women of substance. Older women of substance. Somebody that can call you out on your own bullshit. Because we're all susceptible to anything. When the right person is saying the right thing at the right time, you're not necessarily thinking, oh, am I doing something wrong? Oh, at that point, the heart wants what the heart wants. So you're just going for it like, oh my God. Sometimes you're even trying to run away from it, but it chases you anyway. So sometimes, yeah, but you need people. You need to surround yourselves with people that will call you out on your own bullshit. Not people that are doing exactly the same thing. Which, like I said, if anybody has asked me in the past, I would have said, just do whatever you want to do. Have fun. Do you. Now I'm talking differently. Anyway. Once you come out of a toxic relationship, and I'm talking to everyone, including myself, we all need to heal. We all need to heal. We all need to debrief. We all need to surround ourselves with positive people that can call us out and tell us the truth. The truth is not pretty, it hurts. But that's what makes a true friend, isn't it? Someone that can tell you the truth. Anyway, do you have a lovely week? And, well, I hope I've been able to break down some of the things I learned. And, we're always trying to be better. So, do you have a beautiful week? Stay blessed. Namaste.